Morning, welcome to Pedals to Pistons. It's a fine Saturday morning. This week, autumn just seems to have hit and summer just seems to be a distant memory. It's long run day and I'm actually at the finish of the run. So I'm just waiting for my training partner to pick me up because we are doing a point-to-point run today. So we need 2 cars. Now, today I wanted to have a bit of a video around having a training partner versus training solo. Now, as you'll know from some of my videos on cycling, my training partner is leaving and he's leaving next Monday. So this is the final run, as you would call it, final long run, not the final swim. So he'll be swimming tomorrow and he'll be swimming next Sunday. But this is the final run. So we plotted something different in. We haven't done it before. We're doing a point-to-point run, as I've said. So we're just going to drive up to Princetown and make our way down the cycle track to Burrator Reservoir, which looks to be quite nice. And the reason I wanted to talk about a training partner is I've had a training partner a couple of times, the same training partner a couple of times in my life. So when I was 18, I was topping the scales quite heavily. I'll put a picture in. Not good. Not a good look. So I started training at a gym when I was 18 and I lost 4/5 stone. One of the lads at the gym had noticed how much effort I was putting in and he was competing in bodybuilding and he took me under his wing, taught me compound lifts, etc. Because for the best part of losing weight, I was just using machines and the cardio equipment and made serious changes in my diet. And that was a significant benefit. I had that accountability, didn't have the shared hardship because obviously he was quite far ahead in his training journey. It was like I was his Padawan and he was helping upskill me and pass on the knowledge that he developed through his training. But the training partner I've been training with the last 2.5 years, we've achieved, well, I've achieved my best running since training with him, and that has come from a program from a friend of ours, the Minute On, Minute Off, and I got up to my first half marathon. Morning. Cyclist. I got up to my first half marathon, and then we also undertook a half Ironman together. So in that half Ironman, I took an hour off my previous times. Absolutely smashed it. Well, didn't smash it as well as I could have done because my right hip played up and I had to walk run the half marathon. But that accountability, shared hardship, having someone to train with when the nights were dark had massive benefits. I was driving at the time. It was on my long commute to work, and I would drive from work to meet him, and we would run at different times of the day. But a lot of it was throughout winter, with head torches on. When you get that kind of Millennium Falcon on Wart Drive effect from your head torch.
Jump to light speed.
It's not the best, and if you were training solo, you probably wouldn't. You might have to have an internal conversation with yourself. So certainly training partners have presented a massive benefit. Now, that's also having someone when you don't feel like it. That accountability is, mate, I'm not going to train today. I'm not feeling it. And he'd be like, well, I'm still going to go. And when they say they're still going to go, you're kind of thinking, oh, I really need to go as well. So then you go. And it works on the flip. So when they don't want to go and you go, they still turn up and come. So it's really got some productive benefits. And you can have conversations with people, that shared discussion. It's important for us to speak to people. We spend so much of our lives virtual. Just having that conversation, we were running for, well, initially we started off with a minute on, minute off. So we only ran for 20 minutes. when you look at what that got up to almost 2 hours. 2 hours of running 3 times a week. Significant time together and significant mental health benefits of having someone else there to talk. It also means you haven't got to decide on items, so you can just crack on, and either one of you can pick the location. It's quite funny. I still don't have the confidence to keep talking if someone goes past. It's I don't know, it might be an internal thing, but it's just, I find it a bit weird that I'm still talking to my camera and people are cycling past or running past and I'm still putting the camera down. It's almost like a nervous thing, like a naughty boy that I shouldn't be doing it, but I know that's just in my head and I need to get over it. So yeah, I'm just mumbling at the moment, but whilst this is a man-made reservoir, the area we're finishing in is pretty stunning. It's Burrator Reservoir, just north of Plymouth. The run today is about 7 miles, so we're going to meet up. Like I said, I'm just waiting for him to pick me up, and it's so tranquil here. This is actually a decent run route. So there is a road that goes around the outside of the reservoir, and it's 4 miles if you don't take the shortcut. And it's quite a good place to train, good place to do sort of half marathon training, because you can leave bananas, etc. on your car and just pick them up as you go around. Also, I've done quite a bit of cycling training here when I did my first half Ironman when I was back in 2017. I would just come up here and cycle loops. It's stunning. It's, you know, the whole run today is going to be pretty much decent views, and we're so lucky to live in this area of the country.
So long run's finished, came in about 7.6 miles. We've had the post-run bacon bath and coffee, home, showered and ready to crack on with the day. So that was training with a training partner. There's 3 of us today, which was really enjoyable. So the next few weeks, how they're going to look? Well, commuting's going to be the normal commute with my colleague John, maybe a couple of times. But my training for the next few weeks is going to be independent, so solo training. Now, that does bring with it some benefits. So that independence and self-reliance gives me the opportunity to train when it suits me. I don't have any schedule clashes. I can just crack on and do the training when it fits. So if I get an hour in the day when I'm working from home, I can head out for a run, or I can get in the gym early. For example, on Friday, I couldn't sleep for some reason, so I went to the gym at 4 o'clock in the morning. That might seem a bit extreme, but it felt a bit better than sitting downstairs doing nothing. So I'd planned to go to the gym anyway, so I just thought I'd go early. Now, one of my possible training partners that I could run with, and he came for a run with us today, he doesn't have children, so he doesn't get up as early, and it means that maybe our diaries will clash when he doesn't worry about getting home on a Saturday to spend time with his kid, whereas I like to get home and have a full day with the family. So there's going to be some schedule classes there. That independence as well kind of gives you that self-motivation and accountability. Now, I do struggle occasionally with being accountable to myself, so having that additional accountability of a training partner was really beneficial. But now I'm going to have to be accountable to myself, set up a diary and plan my training out and making sure I'm hitting 100% of the training. And it also gives me 100% ownership of the progress, right? So if I'm locked in, I'm delivering it for myself and I'm making sure I'm accountable. That way, everything is 100% me. The other benefits it gives is around those mental benefits. Now, it's going to give that strength and resilience and willpower. Again, with the accountability, willpower is something that can really wane, especially for myself. As the winter draws in, going out in the rain, I've got the benefit where I've got the watt bike in the pain cave, but it's the running I need to focus on. So that means that I'm going to have to get out when the weather is like it is today, raining and windy. So it's going to require some willpower and that accountability to myself. It also gives you kind of time to think, reflect and de-stress. One of the things I find now that I'm cycling to work and cycling home. On the days I cycle home on my own, it gives me time to reflect on the day and de-stress from the day. When I cycle home with someone else, I get the benefit of being able to talk to someone else and just sort of bounce things off on how the day's been. But actually cycling home on my own gives me a chance to run through the events of the day. And whilst you're concentrating on cycling, it does give me the opportunity to really think about some of the events or things that are coming up in the future, to try and strategize. So it does give me some time to reflect, distress from the day. So that training benefit of training alone it has that mental benefit as well. And that mental benefit is giving you that confidence boost. So it's picking me up as I'm seeing the progress come, thinking I'm not relying on anyone else. This is all me. But the mental piece is there's the flip sides with both. I guess another thing is the training quality and the focus that it brings you. You get to go at your own pace. Now, if I need a recovery, I can go at my slow pace, or if I need to have a hard push, I can have a hard push. Now, if I reflect on some of the times when we're commuting home from work, if I'm on a recovery day and perhaps we're chasing segments on the way home, that's not beneficial for my recovery. So actually training on your own gives you time to stick to your own schedule. So that training quality, you're not out chasing a segment because you're being egged on, or just pushing yourself a bit harder than you should, perhaps creeping out of zone 2 when you shouldn't be pushing yourself at hard and you should be resting. It actually allows you to keep to your planned sessions, focusing on your form without distractions and interactions. So that training quality, it does give you that focus. So quite important, but I do like riding with other people as well. The performance piece and progression, it's kind of the consistent training, not relying on others. So you are, as I've said, on your own schedule. So you can actually get yourself in, get focused on your session, and not perhaps be, say, if you're in the gym with someone doing squats, let's go and throw some arms in, let's do a bit extra, and perhaps could lead to overtraining. So that benefit is to just keep into your own session. And I guess in a way, training solo also reflects race day. If you get to a century cycling event, you get to a 70.3 half Ironman, any event, unless you're doing a relay, it's all you. It's all you in your own head. So when you think about cold water swimming, been out this morning, very rough seas, choppy current, that's all you in your own head. You've got to keep focus on your progression. When you come to the half Ironman and you're getting into the water, it's all you. You've got to focus on that, that pull, breathe, get into that rhythm. And when you're training on your own, that's preparing you for race day. So it's kind of key is getting you into that race day scenario. There's also that lifestyle flexibility. Can fit it around family and work. As I said at the beginning, it's just a case of, right, what's my diary look like today? Can I go out for a run? Can I go to the gym? What have I got planned with the family? Am I cycling with the family? Do I build that into the plan as well? But there's also the option to train anywhere, and I'm not waiting for anyone. So there's actually less compromise because you don't have to fit around someone else, and more freedom. Now, one of the areas I quite like solo is going to the cinema solo. The benefit that means is, and people think you're crazy for doing it, is you don't talk to anyone while you're in the cinema, right? And you don't have to compromise on the movie. So you can just go in your sweats, hood up, some snacks, watch a movie, come home, chill out. So it's just that freedom to chill out and relax on your own. And that sort of, again, leads on to the enjoyment side of it. With your training on your own, there was a few times when I was training for Hyrox. I'm fortunate enough to have a friend who's got his own CrossFit box. So 2022, I did a Hyrox event, and very tough. Now, with his own CrossFit box, fortunate enough to give me the code to go and train in his gym. So I was getting up early on a Thursday, which was on the gym's programming day, was a recovery day. So there was no class between 6 and 7. So the benefit of training on my own in the gym at that time in the morning was I could pick the music. So literally have my own playlist, would go in, program my own workout, and just get in, train. Now, it did start to get really, really enjoyable doing that. But also at the same time, some of the other people that I was partaking in some of the classes with started to see that I was training on my own in the morning and actually wanted to jump in with me. So it had its positives and its negatives. It was my own time in my own head, programming my own workout, my own music. But the minute other people started to come with me, it was like, okay, we've got the faff of just chatting before getting going, and you're sort of losing that dead time. It's kind of like when you go to the gym, you just want to be in your own space. You want your headphones on, but gradually after time in the gym, you start to meet people. So gradually the gym gets more social. So you actually end up losing a bit of time. So training solo certainly does give you that silence, that me time, mental reset, and just time for you. And that's really important, I find. And it's in terms of where we're headed now, it's going to give me the chance to explore new routes solo. We're just coming into winter. My son's just started going to the gym, so I can pick him up and come with me. But I think training with a partner and training solo each have their benefits, each have their negatives. Training solo gives me the freedom, flexibility, and mental toughness, but it's not always easy. When your accountability and your willpower is failing, and you know you've got a run book with someone else in the calendar, you can just rely on that. So if you say I'm not going to go, and they say I'm going to go, then it kind of makes you feel a little bit guilty, and you go. I've had this with runs where I've finished work and I've texted Damien and said I'm not going to run, and he's like I'm still going, and then I've ended up still going for the run. And I've also had this on early morning bike rides when me and my friend Al have planned a bike ride, and it's sort of been, are you still going? My legs are sore. It's like, yes. It's like, okay, let's go. So we've ended up meeting up, even though we were both going to shit can it. But we've ended up meeting up and going for a ride. So definite positive and negatives to both. However, the next month, 2 months are going to be about solo training for me. So do you train with a partner or do you train solo? Let me know in the comments about what you feel the positive and negatives are. It'd be certainly interesting to hear from other people. What do you feel are the key lessons that you can take away or to improve those methods of training? If you've enjoyed today's video, please give me a like, a subscribe and a comment. And let me know your thoughts. I look forward to seeing you all again. Thanks.